everybody, welcome back to Talk With Nia. So let's get right into it. Rihanna shares pictures of her baby with the world, and her baby is too adorable and cute. So what did you guys think of Rihanna and A$AP Rocky's baby pictures? So adorable. Now I want to move on, and I want to talk about Aubrey ODay, okay? Now Aubrey ODay was in the group Danity Kane, which I was a fan of. I love their music, and I watched Making of the Band, and I watched Diddy form this group when I was younger. Now, Aubrey hints at the reason why she was fired from her girl group, Danity Kane. And is she hinting that Diddy wanted her in a romantic way? I don't know, but let me play you the clip.
Why somebody would want to fire somebody.
Can you give us a little more?
I wasn't willing to do what was expected of me. Not talent-wise, but in other areas.
Mm-hmm. And were other girls doing?
I was the only one that was in those types of positions.
Wow. When you look back on that, how does that make you feel?
You know, I have such a love-hate with it all because I don't think I would have been able to be so successful in so many other areas had I not been trained under Diddy. Mm-hmm. He was the hardest person that you can work for, and it was torture. And not the work part of it, but the other stuff. Mind games, like just all the girls were so divided, and the men and the people running it had their hands in it, moving everything. There was a lot of betrayal. There was a lot of lies. There was a lot of... you know, when you're young and impressionable and we understand our beauty as women through the eyes of the people observing us. Well, who's observing us? Men. So we learn our beauty through a man's eye, which is very subjective. So it's difficult when you're that young to understand your worth as a woman through the men that I was around. And that was very traumatic. I don't think any of us have healed from that. Diddy would be like, you're not hot anymore. Like, what happened? You don't have anything, like, you don't have any curves. You're looking like you're not looking like, I can't get people to think that you're my good looking person. And there was no Me Too at that time. There was no protecting anyone at that time. You signed a million NDAs and a million contracts that took away all your rights. So you really were operating in an environment that you had no control in.
So what did you guys think of that and what she had to say? Now, speaking of Diddy, he was spotted with another new girl kissing. When is enough enough? It looks like he was at Nobu on a dinner date with a new lady. So I have lost track how many girlfriends or women Diddy is dating. I have lost track officially, okay? Now, since we're on the topic of men who deal with a lot of women, I wanted to also talk about Nick Cannon. He admits to feeling guilty about not spending enough time with his kids. He says, being a father of multiple kids is always the biggest guilt on me that I don't get to spend enough time with all of my children. One, because I'm constantly working, and two, because I'm just spread thin. So Nick Cannon, oh my gosh, how many kids does he have, you guys? I've lost counts. But he feels guilty about not being able to spend enough time with his kids, and he's spread thin. I mean, how can you be there for all of those kids? Now let's move on to Megan Thee Stallion. So Megan is still going through drama with her label, and the owner of 1501, Carl Crawford, had more to say regarding Megan's case, as social media points out that Kelsey, I believe she's married to this guy who's basically affiliated with 1501. Now, Carl went on social media and said, so I'm guessing things ain't going too well in court, so now it's time to blame 1501. I think Carl should just stay out of it. I mean, he already revealed, and we talked about it, that him and Megan have their own court case that's going to happen next month. So just sit this one out and worry about your own court case. I don't know why he's even commenting on the situation with Megan and Tory, but, you know, it is what it is. Now, let's move on to Latto. So Latto responds to criticism of her music and how people are saying that all she talks about is the vajayjay. Now, Latto says, I got plenty of songs not about the vajayjay. Y'all don't blow them up, and that's not my problem. Now, what do y'all think about that? Okay? Now, just talking about female rap alone, a lot of female rappers, they talk about sex a lot. They talk about their bodies a lot. You know, it's just a common thing. And I think the labels just think that sells. And they be wanting these girls to come in and get BBLs and show skin and talk about, all that promiscuous stuff. So what do y'all think about that? Now let's move on to SZA. So SZA's tour is completely sold out. Now this also came after people were, complaining of her tour tickets being $600, which made fans scared to see how much Beyonce's tour tickets were going to cost if SZA is $600. So how much you think Beyonce going to be charging when she go on tour? However, SZA released a video yesterday on her YouTube channel showing the behind the scenes of SOS coming out. And she showed that the week of her SNL performance, I think it was like the rehearsal day, the label let her know that they wanted her to push the album back to January next year. And she was crying and extremely stressed out. Okay. She was saying everything is done. They probably always wanted to push it back. And she was very frustrated in that video. So definitely go on her channel and watch that. Now, despite them wanting to push it back, SOS is the second biggest first week for a female album in the U.S. Spotify history, surpassing Taylor Swift. SOS has now sold over 1 million total units in the U.S., and her song Kill Bill is now the biggest opening week for a song by a black female artist in U.S. Spotify history, surpassing Cardi B and Megan's song WAP. And SOS is now eligible for platinum in the U.S. for selling over 1 million total units in the country. So, despite them wanting to push it back, I understand, Christmas, the holidays, all that Christmas music dominates the charts now. Mariah Carey, Queen Mariah Carey with Christmas songs. Okay, I get it. But SZA did really well. Okay, she sold over 300K first week. She did really well for this album for such a long hiatus. But this definitely, after watching that video on her channel, now I understand why she wants to take a break. Because remember, I talked to you guys yesterday. I'm like, I don't understand why, where is she going? Why does she want to take a break? I understand now after watching that behind the scenes video. I get it. So it's like, SZA, if you got to find other avenues to get your coin and stay out here, I respect it. Do what you want to do what makes you happy, because she was so stressed out. She was so emotional and stressed out. And I can only imagine what else happened behind the scenes that, we weren't privy to when it comes to her fighting to put out her music and her art. So I definitely am happy for all the success she's getting off of this album. And that is all I have for today. Have a good weekend. Bye.